If you thought muscle car history had already written its final chapter, think again. Because in a twist no one saw coming, the Plymouth GTX is back. That's right. After decades in the graveyard of forgotten American icons, the GTX returns for 2026, and it's not playing the nostalgia game halfway. This isn't a sticker package on a rental-grade shell. It's a full-fledged rebirth, engineered with heart, heritage, and horsepower. And yeah, this one burns. The 2026 Plymouth GTX arrives as a high-performance Grand Tourer under the Dodge and Chrysler Performance Division, reimagined for a world that's rapidly pushing the muscle car into extinction. But instead of bowing out with silence, the GTX comes back roaring like it never left. It's built on the same next-gen STLA large platform underpinning the latest Chargers and Super Bs, but Plymouth has brought a distinct attitude to the table. This car doesn't beg for attention, it commands it. The design is an elegant sledgehammer. Long, wide, and unapologetically American, it stretches over 200 inches in length, riding low on a wide stance. Up front, there's a sharp rectangular grille that pays tribute to the 71 GTX, flanked by inset quad-LED headlamps that look like they're squinting in anger. A functional shaker hood sits dead center, breathing life into the engine beneath, with GTX lettering etched into the scoops. There are no unnecessary wings, no boy racer gimmicks. Just muscle, refinement, and a bit of menace. The rear is clean, with a sculpted deck lid and slim, wraparound taillights that form a razor-thin red bar across the entire width. The dual exhausts exit through polished rectangular tips and rumble with authority, even at idle. It comes in colors that make a statement: molten silver, crimson ice, midnight plum, patriot blue, and a limited-run high-impact orange with matte black GTX graphics. And yes, those GTX emblems are cast metal, not plastic, and they're backlit when the car unlocks at night. It's all about presence. Under the hood, the GTX doesn't play safe. In fact, it starts where most muscle cars peak. The base model gets the 6.4 liters Hemi V8 naturally aspirated, 515 horsepower, 475 pounds-feet of torque. Rear-wheel drive standard, all-wheel drive optional, and your choice of an 8-speed automatic or a Tremec 6-speed manual. Step up to the GTX 426 and you're looking at a resurrection of another legend, a 7.0 liters Hemi, naturally aspirated, built from a forged block and internals, delivering 600 horsepower and a sound that can wake the dead. It's old-school power re-engineered with modern tolerances, able to rev past 7,000 RPM while still making low-end grunt. But then there's the GTX Super Commando. This is where things get unhinged. Supercharged 6.2 liters V8, 765 horsepower, 680 pounds-feet of torque, with lightweight crank, forged pistons, dual-stage intercooling, and a 3.1-liter blower screaming at the top of its lungs. 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat. Quarter mile in 10.5. Top speed limited to 200 miles per hour, and only because the tires say so. And here's the kicker: all of this is still gas. No hybrid assistance. No battery packs. Just fuel, fire, and fury. It's a bold move in an F-dominated age, and Plymouth knows it won't last forever. That's why they've dubbed this lineup Final Flight. A last hurrah for the internal combustion era. The GTX's ride quality walks a fine line between comfort and chaos. It's built as a grand touring muscle car, not a stripped-out drag machine. Adaptive Bilstein suspension comes standard on all trims, with continuously variable damping and a revised control arm setup that sharpens response without beating you up on daily drives. You can cruise at 80 like it's nothing, Then hammer it on the back road and feel every ounce of that Hemi doing what it was born to do. Steering is surprisingly precise. Electric, yes, but retuned with heavier feedback than the supercharger. In sport and track mode, the system tightens up and sharpens input curves, while drag mode softens rear dampers to improve weight transfer off the line. Launch control, line lock, burnout mode, and programmable trans brake settings are all included. It's digital muscle with analog soul. The braking setup is more than just functional, it's brutal. 6-piston Brembos up front clamp down on 2-piece rotors, with 4-piston units in the rear. The pedal feel is direct, and fade resistance is excellent, even under repeat abuse. There's even a built-in brake bias adjuster in track mode, letting you tune the balance without lifting the hood. Now step inside, and you'll see where the GTX really separates itself from its Dodge siblings. The cabin isn't just sporty, it's upscale. Think of it as American muscle meets European luxury. The seats are deeply bolstered, wrapped in a choice of Nappa leather, suede, or performance vinyl. Contrast stitching comes standard, and there are optional carbon fiber and brushed aluminium trim packages for the dash, console, and door panels. Front and center is a 14.1-inch curved infotainment screen that blends seamlessly with the 12.3-inch driver's cluster. It's running Stellantis' latest Uconnect 6 interface, but with exclusive GTX skins and retro-inspired gauge themes, including one modeled after the original 1971 dashboard layout. And yes, there's an analog tachometer view, because someone in Plymouth still gets it. There's no shortage of tech. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, voice-activated performance controls, wireless charging, Wi-Fi hotspot, and a GTX exclusive drive diary app that records every drive, track run, launch, and corner in 4K from the built-in dash cams. You can even overlay GeForce data and engine stats for instant uploads. Sound system. Choose between a standard 9-speaker Alpine setup or go all out with a 21-speaker Harman Kardon Quantum system with subwoofer built into the rear deck. It's loud. It's crisp. But honestly, most people will keep it off just to hear the exhaust note bounce off tunnel walls. The rear seats are usable, but they're more of an afterthought. The GTX is a driver's car. Trunk space, on the other hand, is surprisingly generous enough to fit luggage for a weekend or a full track day's worth of tires and tools. In terms of trims and pricing, the base GTX RT starts at around $58,000. That gives you the 6.4 liters, manual or auto, basic digital tech, and a surprisingly good performance suite. The GTX 426 jumps to $72,000, and adds adaptive aero, bigger brakes, enhanced cooling, and signature shaker hood. The Super Commando? $84,000 and worth every penny if you ask us. That price puts it in line with high-end muscle sedans, but no one else is offering this blend of old-school energy and new-school engineering. Then there's the Heritage Package. Limited to 2,026 units. Comes with a serialized plaque, special throwback colors like ivy green metallic and bright white, retro GTX badging, and a dual snorkel hood design. These cars will be collector gold in 5 years. Driving the GTX feels like time travel with traction control. The way the torque comes on, the sound, the way it dips under throttle, it's a visceral experience. You don't just drive it. You feel it. The engine vibrations, the sharpness of the throttle, the connectedness to the road, it's all there. It's imperfect in the way that makes cars great. There's no digital filter between you and the machine. In sport mode, it feels balanced. In track, it turns into a hammer. And in drag mode, it's straight up savage. The Super Commando especially will put your head into the headrest and your soul into the seat. It's not for the faint of heart, and that's the point. This car wasn't built for everyone. It was built for the faithful. The people who grew up watching their dads wrench on 446 packs. The ones who remember when cars had names like Roadrunner, Duster, and Fury. The ones who never gave up on Plymouth even when the badge disappeared. And now, here we are. In 2026, with a car that carries that badge again. Not ironically. Not in tribute. But for real. Is it practical? Not really. Is it necessary? Absolutely not. But is it glorious? Every damn mile. The 2026 Plymouth GTX is a reminder that cars used to be about passion. About power. About character. And this one? It's got character in spades. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't make apologies. It's here to do burnouts, break necks, and make history.